problem is the law, the mining law, throughout most of Canada, and it's the same in Ontario. We have a system called the free entry system. If you combine that Crown land, even if it's disputed and claimed by First Nations, anybody can stake it, and then under the law they have a right to explore without any further permits being required. The government of Ontario treats that law as being the supreme law of the land, even though the Constitution of Canada is supposed to be the supreme law. A few months ago, they were denying a lot of the claims made by Ardoch. For example, they claimed that they had consulted with the Ardoch Algonquin First Nation. That's been proven to be a lie, and they don't repeat that anymore. 2 weeks ago, when we were in court for the sentencing phase for Bob Lovelace and Paula Sherman and the Ardoch Algonquin First Nation, Dalton McGuinty and Michael Bryant, his Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, had nothing to say. They instructed their lawyers to sit on their hands and say nothing throughout that. When I pointed at them and said, I challenge you to produce any evidence that you've consulted with this community at all, they sat silently and said nothing to that, because there is nothing they can say to it.
Okay, my name's Beth Robertson. I'm from Lanark Highlands, and I'm here to support Bob Lovelace and his unjust incarceration for protecting the land, and to tell Dalton McGuinty that he should enact his own laws and not just the laws for the mining companies.
The United States Against Sweatshops works a lot for anti-racism, anti-homophobia, and other discrimination and power struggles that have this discrimination built into them in a wider sense. So we show solidarity with a lot of groups that way. And in Canada, obviously the Natives are a huge issue that way. And I see the arrest of Robert Lovelace as a larger issue than just a court injunction. I see it as a real act of racism that has been created through the system, which Canada's been doing for a long time now. There's few people that would argue with that. So I came in support of the anti-racist movement and in support of Robert Lovelace and in support of Aboriginals, period.
And we make the links between the Indigenous colonial experience in Canada with that of the Indigenous peoples elsewhere in the world. And this matter, I think, shows that, like the Ngoni people in Nigeria, who the oil companies have run roughshod over, Indigenous peoples in the Philippines and in Mexico, all of whom are facing very similar issues.
Because we have to rally, we have to stand up. This is 2008, and we have to stand up for the kind of Canada we want. Thanks.